It was the most successful Australian-made documentary at the box office, and the movie called That Sugar Film made many of us think about the amount of sugar that's hidden away in so-called healthy foods. Now the man behind that film has a new doco. This one looks into the future to see what sort of world his 4-year-old daughter will inherit. Weekend Sunrise movie man Jason Jabba Davis caught up with Daman Gameau, the writer, director and star of 2040.
Have you ever stopped to wonder what 2040 might look like?
My name is Damon. And this is my daughter, Velvet. Are you trying to plant Dad? She's just turned 4.
Damon Gameau has.
I started quite as an overwhelmed dad that thought, is there actually any hope? How am I going to talk about this to my daughter? Every article I was reading was just how bad the world is and how we're destroying it. And so that really prompted me to see if there was something I could do and how do I communicate that to my daughter.
While That Sugar Film focused on the health of the population, Damon's new film, simply called 2040, is all about the health of the planet.
So in 2040, what will the world look like for our daughter?
We all change when we become parents, but you've really taken a long view on parenting and what sort of future Velvet will have, haven't you?
Yeah, I guess it's, I mean, their future's at stake right now, and the decisions we're making at the moment is going to affect my daughter's generation. And I think that's why the kids are taking to the streets. They want to try and wake us up and shake us up and say, hang on, we're going to be around in 2040, 2050. Some of you aren't. So would you mind actually taking care of our home as well? Because we're all sharing this.
2040 doesn't just look at the problems. Damon has travelled the world to find solutions.
You talk about this being your personal quest for fact-based dreaming. What is fact-based dreaming?
Yeah, so the idea of fact-based dreaming, I guess, is to say that this would have been a really terrible film and a very bad exercise in parenting if I just sort of said, hey, here's this beautiful future, here's what 2040 could look like, it's all going to be great, don't worry about it. I had to make sure that everything I show my daughter in the future exists now. So that's what's called fact-based dreaming. So it's not me making anything up, it's just an extrapolation of what we already have. We're not waiting for some magic solution or some magic technology. We actually have everything, all the tools to turn this around. Not just mitigate climate change or global warming, but actually reverse it through some of these practices.
For example, here's a problem. How do we power a growing world? Damon reckons an answer can be found in third world Bangladesh, local microgrids.
The setup is quite simple. Any home that has solar panels and a battery can buy this special box, which connects them to another house with the same setup. The box allows the buying or selling of energy between the homes.
So all that money stays within the community, the prices come down, and they're really protected. So if the main grid shuts down in a disaster or whatnot, they've got their own energy supply.
And what about all those cars and the many more about to hit the road?
With predictions of an extra 1 billion cars worldwide by 2040. A possible solution could be replacing car ownership with on-demand driverless vehicles.
Like a Netflix or a Spotify, instead of owning cars, we'll subscribe to transport networks in a sense. So you'll be able to just get a car really quickly and it'll be driverless and take you around the city. And that means there'll be less parking on the roads. That's the theory. So if there's less parking, it frees up more space for community bike paths, urban food projects, whatever it might be. But yeah, the stats are that at the moment, 2/3 of LA is roads and parking. So that entire city is pretty much concrete, made for cars. So if we have less cars, that transforms what some of these cities around the world look like.
This film shows us the 2040 that could be.
Everywhere you look, you will see incredible reasons for hope.
Depending on the path we take.
So here's an invitation, Damon. In 2040, you can come back to talk to us about where we went wrong or where we went right.
Yeah, deal. Let's see how much of it's come true. I fingers crossed that it's the majority of it. Yeah.